Hello everyone, it's Shanna Makes It, and I'm part of the creative crew for Cat Scrappiness, and I'm here on the channel today bringing in the Holiday Lantern 3x4 stamp and die set, and I'm going to be using the add-on, the Christmas Lantern add-on stamp and coordinating die, and I've already got my lantern there. I showed you I had previously been playing around with it, and I had it stamped, die cut, and colored, and so what I'm going to be doing today is using the Christmas Lantern add-on stamp, and we'll be doing some coloring on it. So I just got it in, and I'm going to get it laid down on here. It's brand new. These have not been inked up, so rubbing my fingers on them a little bit, and we'll have to stamp them a couple of times to kind of get them conditioned. And it has several sentiments that goes with it. You've got poinsettias and leaves and a bow with some poinsettia leaves and berries on it. You've got a little something for you. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas. Be merry. Season's greetings, joy, happy holidays. May your days be merry and bright, and peace on earth are all of the sentiments. Now, I am stamping down the peace on earth, and then all of the floral images, I'm going to stamp them down. I'm just using Memento black ink because I plan to color these with both my tri-blend markers and some alcohol markers that I have. And so I'm just using my Memento black ink so it will not bleed. And I had laid that down with a bubble on there, so I had to push on a couple of them to get them to ink, but it inked up very nice. Now, I have sped the coloring up considerably, so hopefully it won't be too much for you, but it does take a good while to color. I'm using these tri-blend markers, and I basically have a red, a green, and a brown that I'm going to be using on here. And on the very first poinsettia there, I actually colored a leaf wrong. So I colored it red as the poinsettia, and so I'll try to fix it, but it is way too dark. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to tuck it. And so you can fix your little airs by just tucking it or covering, laying something on top of it or whatever. But I'm going to tuck this poinsettia, and no one will even know that I had colored that wrong. So I'll just get my poinsettia with my leaves all colored up, and I'm trying to do a little bit of shadow on all of them by using the 3 different blends. I'm starting out with my light, and then I think I mostly use the mid-tone and then go to the dark, and then back to the light is how I do it. And I'm just getting the swag colored in now, and it's really fun. It's got pine cones in the center of it, and so that's what I brought my brown in for. And we'll use the brown to color in the pine cones. And there are some berries on there too, so I used my darkest red to color the berries in. And then I'm going to move on to my bow. And I'm going to use the lightest red for my bow because I kind of want it to stand out differently than my poinsettia. So I'm just going to use the lightest. And then I'm going to color in these berry leaves, and then add a little dimension to those by adding some shading and then reblending out. And then we'll bring in, actually we're going to move on to the other poinsettia. And this one's kind of a different view, like the leaves are laying down and the poinsettia leaves are kind of lifting up. So I'm going to color it just a little bit differently, but using the same colors and just get it all colored in and ready to go. And they look really dark on camera. They're a little bit lighter than that. But so now I'm just going to take my coordinating dies. I've got some pink pixie tape, and I'm going to lay my coordinating dies down on my stamped images. And I love Cat Scrappiness's dies. They're always nice and tight, and they cut really nice. And I'm just going to get all these laid down on here. I'm going to fumble around and try to find my Peace on Earth die and get it laid down on there, and we'll use some more pink tape and get it taped down so that these don't shift on me when I run them through my die cutting machine. And I go off camera with my Spellbinders Platinum 6, and we'll get these die cut out. So I've linked all of the materials in the description box below, as well as the product bar. So would appreciate you shopping with links, as it is helpful to me. I'm just going to pop all the images out. And as with most die cuts, they've got a white edge around them. Now I'm going to use this Merry Christmas paper pad, and I'm also going to use the label frame craft dies, and I'm going to use 2 of those. I'm going to use this dark green cardstock from the Merry Christmas 6x6 premium cardstock pack, and I'm going to use the frame to die cut that out, and then I'm just bringing some red paper in. And I'm going to use my bone folder and give my card a good press. And then I decided that I would bring in a gold panel and just get it laid down on my card base, and then I'll lay my green and my red on top of it. I'm using my Cat Scrappiness bone folder to just go along the cut edge just to smooth it out so it'll lay a little bit nicer. And then I've got my glue press. I'm going to get some glue on there and just get it laid down on my card base. My card bases have been off, and I'm almost out of this carton of hammer mail that I've got. So I'm hoping when I get the new one in, they won't be off and I won't have to trim them up. But anyway, so I'm going to get some glue on this and we'll get this laid down. You could see there was a really cute pattern on the back of that. It was like Santa hats in red. It was super cute. The Cat Scrappiness premium cardstock is double-sided, and it's always hard to decide which pattern to use because they're always so cute. So I'm going to lay this red down on here, and this is going to be a very traditional red, green, and gold Christmas card. I'm just showing you those dies, and you've got several options to choose from. Here is the lantern that I had previously stamped. I basically stamped and colored my candles, and then I stamped my lantern over the top of it and then colored. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to lay this on my red cardstock, and so I'm taking the white die cut edge and coloring it red so it'll just blend into my panel that I'm laying it on. So I took that piece of scrap that the dies are on down there and used several of my red markers and tried to find one that I thought looked close enough to the red cardstock that I've got, and I'm just filling in all the white areas. And I missed the one there at the handle, but I'll come back. There we go. I'm coming back to it now to fill that in. And that way it'll just blend right into that card panel. And I'm going to do it with all of the die cut pieces, and it really kind of gives it a 3D look, I thought. And so what I'm doing is I'm holding it up there, and I'm trying to decide with this bow and the berries and that what part is going to be on the red and what part's going to be on the black. And whatever's going to lay on the red, I'm going to color red, and whatever's going to lay on the black, I'm going to add black to. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just going to use these colors to basically make that white die cut edge just blend right in. And you can see how it's disappearing as I do it. And now I need to switch to my black, because then my red ribbon pieces are going to hang down on my lantern for the most part. And so I'm just going to go to black, and then when I put it up there, it will, and I forgot to color in the centers of these, so I'm just taking the brown and just coloring the berries in with that. Touching up any areas that need to be touched up, and then I'll lay it on there, and you can see how that those die edges just disappear when you do that. I'm going to do the same thing with this. Now this is the one where I had the coloring air, and I'm going to tuck the dark side in underneath my lantern, and I'm just going to go red around here because it's going to lay on my red panel. I think this is a nice finishing touch for your card to do this. And I didn't have to do it around the darker leaf because I'm going to tuck it in there to kind of hide my little boo-boo. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Now the greenery part is going to hang down on my red card base, and then the poinsettia part is going to be laying on my black lantern. So just eyeballing, seeing how much red I got to get on there. And then I'll bring in my black marker and go around the top of that because it's going to lay on my lantern. And we'll get that laid down on there. I'm just dry fitting everything to figure out how I want it. And then my swag, the top part of my swag is going to lay on my green paper. and then the bottom will be on the red. So I'm going to color all of the bottom of it red. And this was a little bit trickier because the leaves were very pointed and there was space between them, so it was a little bit trickier, but it's still doable. And then the top of my swag is going to hang on the green, so I'll bring in my green marker and color the green in where I need to. And part of it is going to be red, so I just keep laying it down so I can see exactly what I'm doing. And then we'll bring in the black, or the green, I mean, and we'll do the top of that green, and then that will just kind of fade into the top of that green panel and just kind of help that white edge disappear. Now we're getting cold weather here in Indiana, so my heat is running. So if you hear that in the background, that's what that is. Got to have that heat in the winter. So I apologize. So I see some areas that need just a little bit more coloring in, and I'm just doing that. And I'm going to clean this desk off and come back. I didn't want to get the back of my card dirty. So I'm going to just take a foam strip and pop this up right down the center because I want to leave room to tuck. And so I'll just snip it, and I've got it a little bit too high on the top of my lantern because I'm going to tuck that swag in. And so I'm going to just put some more foam tape. I've split this in half so I'd still have enough room to tuck, but my lantern would be good and secure. So just pulling those release papers off, and we're going to get it laid down on here. Making sure I've got enough room for my swag up top, and I do. I'm going to tuck that one in there, adding some more red where I need to, get some glue laid down on here, and we'll just tuck this in. Now I've got this bow that's going to go on the top there, and this, I'm just going to lay it on there. Just actually, I'm going to pop it up and add a little bit more dimension with it. I forgot that I did that. So we'll add that foam tape and just I'm kind of putting it a little bit wonky on there, just laying a little bit to the side. I thought that looked pretty. Touching up any areas I need to touch up with my pen. And then I've got this other one that I'm going to lay down here at the bottom. And I will need to put a little bit of foam tape on the bottom of it and then glue up the top of it because it's going to lay on that lantern, but part of it's going to be hanging off on that red area, so I was going to need some of that foam tape. So I'll just get it laid down on there. And I was kind of having trouble making it stick, so I just clamped my tweezers on there for just a few minutes, and a few seconds, and it pressed down real nice. And we're just going to tuck this swag in, and I think we've got a really pretty scene going here. Very traditional Christmas. And I've got my piece on earth sentiment that I've die cut out, and I'm just holding it all over, trying to decide where I want to put it. And ultimately, I'm going to lay it in the upper left side of that, and I had to reposition it so I could lay it down on there. And so then I decide that I'm going to bring in some stickles and some glossy accent. And I've got a green stickle, but I wasn't sure how it would look on the collars that I use. So when I took my markers on my scrap and I put my collars down and laid it on there, and I thought, it looks good. So I'm going to take the green stickles to all of the leafy elements and not cover them all, just kind of cover that darker area and just add some glitter and a little bit of sparkle to it. And I'll do that on each of the leaves. And it'll just add some shimmer and shine and glitter to it. And I've had a little bit of a cold, so I apologize for my stuffiness and my scratchy voice. So we'll just get all of these stickled up here. I don't always remember to use the stickles. The thing about them is, once you put them on there, you need to walk away and let them dry. Because inevitably, if you don't, you're going to make a mess out of it. So I'll just get all these laid down on here. And I'm kind of doing a straight line on these on this swag, and then kind of dragging the stickle through it along the branches to just kind of spread it out a little bit. And that'll be it for the green stickles. And I think I got a little bit on the corner, like on my hand, and I got a little bit on the corner there, but I will quickly clean it off and it'll be just fine. I just brought in my little tool, scratched it off, and it came off and it was just fine. It wasn't dry. I was able to get it out of there. Now I'm going to bring in the glossy accent and I'm going to use it on the berries. And I like how it turned out on the berries. And then I'll use it on the centers of the poinsettias. And when it dried, I did not like how it looked on the poinsettias. And so then off camera, after I stopped filming, I took those sequins and I laid them on the centers of the poinsettias. And then I also added some to the card for some additional embellishment. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye now.